I welcome you to the Canto 14 of my long narrative poem, Sita, a Poem. While in Canto 13, we talked about the beauty, the importance of nature, and how the flora and the fauna, the animals and the humans and the plants, they live together, they cohabit, and then life becomes perfect. We talked about Hanuman and his spell, his magic to save Lakshman. In this canto, Canto 14 of the long narrative poem, I'm talking about female bonding, how in Lanka the female demons support and care for Sita, and also about the Ram Ravan war in its culmination. In this poem, I weave within my poetic memoir a constellation of both Marga and Desi versions of the Ramayana stories taken from the parampara of the Ramayana tradition, from stories dispersed through orality, creative compositions, retellings of the Ramayana in the regional languages, as well as in the dominant texts like the Valmiki Ramayana. However, my poetic persona, Sita, she critiques the perpetuation of patriarchy from both Marg and Deshi. She favors none of those. For example, Sita rejects the so called institutionalized versions of the Ramayana as the one authored by Kalidas. Somewhere I have written the story of many a dedicated parent, the tales of single mothers, retelling the tale of Sita. Can you comprehend? Hence this poem. Today, Kalidas's Raghuvansa and Bhavavuti's Uttar Ramayan on Sita's life are not prolific for me. I am trying to create a new Sita, a Sita of the new age, who is independent, progressive, contemporary, non judgmental, flexible, inclusive, and powerful. Furthermore, I try to integrate within this poetic cosmos references of retellings from the Sanskritic works as well. I find that through this poetic craft, my attempts to provide the story of Ramayana to the universe from a woman's point of view, from Sita's point of view, works because folk retellings and compositions have truly created that inspiration for me. Now, let me recite the Canto 14 for you, where the Ram Ravan war is in its peak, in its culmination. Canto 14, Nandini Sahu's poem Sita, a Poem. The women in Lanka got mulled over by a repressive intellect of humiliation, reproaching me. They envisaged the obliteration of Ravan, recalling the extraterrestrial prayers of Lord Ram, Lord Shiva, who had prophesied that only a woman would cause Ravan's decadence. Mandodari and Sulochana were shattered, still in nightmare. I could visualize the chaos in my veiled anguishes. My blazing limpidness, my radiance of elegance brought misfortunes. Scrutinizing the prospect of cranes distressed with grief, Ravan ordered that he himself would be the army chief. Accompanied by mighty demons, he denigrated out to the horizons. He fought brutally with the monkeys. Then he encountered Ram and Lakshman, ultimately with his magic missile. Ravan voiced in between, "O Ram, Sita is my destiny now. Sita, my passion. Sita is my lucky obsession now. And Sita only can be my boon. I am a veteran in all martial sciences and arts. This bitter engagement prompts me to get my shafts. No one can counteract me now, for Sita is in my hands. Go back, O bamboozle, O wandering drifter, see my power, my presence. Look at Ravan, the regal fighter. My avenging strokes have the rain of fire. My lord, my calm and gifted husband, had this concomitant beam on his disposition. He replied, O Ravan, don't be just a futile boaster. Put thy words into action and fight the war. If you are a man among men, prove that you are a mighty vanquisher. This is undoubtedly payback time for you for abducting the most compelling woman on earth beyond her will and enraging Sita, the purest mortal. Then the Brahma dart of Ravan too was not serving adequate to control Raghuvir. Ravan eventually collapsed amid the streams of spear. The ten-headed became scrawny and confused. Now Ram's chariot was Hanuman's broad shoulders. Ravan could fight no more with sustained power. Ram could have killed him at that instant, but pious-hearted Lord presented him reprieve. Run away, Ravan, if you have given up. Ravan's charioteer carried him away from the battlefield. Humiliated Ravan was more of a victim now of Ram's chivalry and endowment. Why was this differential treatment of Indrajit and Ravan? This irritated Ravan, for he thought Sita would ridicule. He rebuked his charioteer and asked to turn back. Ram's charioteer Matali at once got onto his harp. Remembering sage Agastya's advice, Ram chanted Aditya Hridaya, the verses in praise of the sun god to achieve triumph. Sun, the glowing heart of the universe and the bestower of light, the revitalization of life, the adversary of malevolence, the prosperity of strength. The battlefield resonated all over again, like a whirlwind, all encompassing the civilizations, relinquishing mountains, trees, homes, and dreams, targeting arrows at each other. In the severe battle, Ravan's flagstaff was thrown down by Ram's mantle. Ram cut one of his heads. Ravan procured another. O Ram, what was the superlative key of victory in this war? The Asura and the Vanara armies on either sides, and Devas, the gods, watching the cosmic ramification. Oh, what was this Rajaram? This disparate, forceful flush. I watched the Ram Ravan war for 7 days and nights. imaginatively envisioned and estimated by telepathist Trijala in the clairvoyant means. Trijala fell into an abstraction, the war to the optimal. Did Ravan trap you in the treachery and sorcery, O Ram? The war surpassed all equivalent in abrasion. There were hurricanes in the air and vultures above. The war between wisdom and imprudence, the binary opposition. Adharma and dharma met like the memorable chronicle with a collision of wills, limbs, and momentums. The battleground saw fallen Ravans' bleeding heads. As a final point on Matali's advice, Ram took it out. The Brahma warhead, the tether of serpents, venomous, deadly, with cloud unbounded. It emanated billows from the other world. Its wrapped up illumination and temperature were menacing. Its inferno and smolder were like instantaneous death. With untamed wind's swiftness, it penetrated Ravan's heart. He fell dead from his chariot unto the earth. Like all mortals, the mighty had to depart from his home and hearth. With melancholy and with elation, I hugged Trijala, the merciless, vindictive Rakshas, with a cadaver of granite gone. My halcyon days were coming back. I was on the seventh moon.